Eating disorders, what you need to know about treatment.
This video focuses on restrictive type eating disorders, such as anorexia nervosa. Treatment is also available for other eating disorders, such as bulimia nervosa and ARFID. Please speak with your child's healthcare team for more information. Your child has just been diagnosed with an eating disorder. Here's what you need to know.
When an eating disorder comes into your lives, it can turn your whole family upside down. Not only does it affect your child, but it affects the entire family as a whole. Families who are able to catch the illness early and put all of their efforts into this can really turn things around. There is hope. Your child can recover.
There are many misconceptions about eating disorders. What we do know is eating disorders are serious illnesses and can be life-threatening. Parents are not to blame, and they are the key to their child's recovery. The faster your child gets to their target weight, the better their chance of a full recovery.
Most families are offered family-based treatment, or FBT, to help their child recover from an eating disorder. The length of treatment varies, but usually lasts from 6 to 12 months. FBT has 3 phases. Phase 1 focuses on refeeding and weight gain. As a parent, you will learn to provide your child with enough nutrition to reach their target weight. While weight gain alone is not the cure for restrictive eating disorders, it is the first crucial step in getting your child back to full physical and mental health.
Once your child is physically well and able to maintain a healthy weight, treatment shifts to phase 2. During this phase, age-appropriate decision-making around food and nutrition will slowly be handed back to your child.
By the final phase of treatment, phase 3, your child will be able to eat independently, and the focus will shift to living a normal life without the presence of an eating disorder. If your child suffers from another mental illness, such as depression or anxiety, phase 3 is the time to shift the focus to treating that condition.
You will work with your treatment team to decide when your child is ready to move into phase 2 or phase 3. Having an eating disorder will make it extremely difficult for your child to eat. It is your job as parents to feed your child, even though this may be very scary for them.
Malnutrition has devastating physical and psychological effects. Malnutrition may result in weight loss or failure to gain weight as expected. Symptoms of malnutrition may include feeling cold, dizzy, having low energy, stomach bloating, and constipation. Physical signs may include low or irregular heart rate, low blood pressure, thinning hair, loss of menstrual periods, and decreased bone density.
The psychological symptoms commonly seen in an eating disorder are often a result of the brain being malnourished. They may include sad or irritable mood, anxiety, social isolation, and rigid thinking.
Even if your child had these symptoms before the eating disorder, malnutrition will likely make them worse.
Eating disorders can cause your child's organs to shrink, including your child's starved brain. This will affect their ability to make healthy decisions for themselves, like when and how much to eat.
You will not be able to use logic, reason, or persuasion with your child.
The habit of negotiating, convincing, or lecturing at mealtimes will not help, nor will emotional appeals such as pleading, crying, yelling, or guilting them.
These tactics will not get past the hold that the eating disorder has on your child. This is why it's crucial for your child's physical health and for their mental health that they be refed and achieve their target weight. How to support your child during the refeeding process. Meal support is fundamental to your child's recovery. Meal support is more than just being physically present during meals. It includes making sure that your child is supervised for all meals and snacks, including at school.
You may need to change family routines, juggle work schedules, or arrange a leave of absence from work to be available. During meal times, it is helpful to positively distract your child.
Steer the conversation away from food by asking about school, playing word games, or using other distraction techniques.
You may need to use rewards or consequences to help your child eat everything you ask them to.
Some parents take away electronic devices or activities, or do not allow their child to attend school if they do not eat what is expected. Since you know your child best, you will need to determine what will work for your family.
Parents need to discover the levers that they have, the behavioral strategies that they can take with their child, that your child eats when the eating disorder does not want it to.
You are not punishing your child for having an eating disorder. You are sending the message that they need to eat before it's safe for them to participate in other activities. This may be a new approach to parenting for you and may make you feel uncomfortable.
It is hard for every parent. It asks of you to develop a new strategy of parenting that isn't just based on convincing and common sense. Through trial and error, parents find their own tone and their right approach to help their child to eat when it seemed impossible in the beginning. Parents and caregivers need to work together and present a united front. The eating disorder is very good at playing tricks and will find a way to turn parents and family members against each other.
So, it is important to deliver consistent messages, follow the same rules, and communicate fully with each other. If there are 2 or more caregivers involved, use each other's strengths. One parent or caregiver may be better at supervising meals and another at cooking or shopping.
Meal preparation can also be anxiety-provoking for someone with an eating disorder. While one caregiver is cooking, the other caregiver can keep the child occupied and out of the kitchen.
Remember, recovery happens through parents' persistence and consistency. You will learn what works best for your family.
Remind your child that you love them and they can trust you to make the right decisions for their health.
What you and your child may experience during refeeding.
Refeeding your child can cause them to experience tremendous anxiety.
It is not uncommon for your child's distress to increase once refeeding is underway.
Your child may have harsh and judgmental beliefs about themselves or their body.
And they might be overwhelmed by constant thoughts telling them why they shouldn't eat.
The eating disorder may make them scared of certain foods, calories, or becoming fat, and may sometimes make your child behave badly. Your child may scream, break dishes, cry, and threaten to run away when faced with eating foods that they are afraid of.
You will need to work hard to reclaim your authority over the eating disorder's demands, resistance, and refusal.
When your child gets upset, the eating disorder is fighting back. You will need to fight for your child because they cannot fight for themselves.
You may find it tempting to back off when you see how much distress refeeding can cause. However, backing off will just make the eating disorder stronger and the refeeding process take longer.
When faced with your child's distress, continue to firmly but compassionately insist your child eats everything you are providing. Remember, your child may not be motivated to recover, which is why they need your help.
It is extremely important to learn to separate your child from the illness.
You can externalize the illness by imagining 2 voices in your child's head. One with positive and rational thoughts, and the other with negative and irrational thoughts.
It's as though your child's mind has been captured by the eating disorder and is not able to think their own healthy thoughts.
You may not even recognize your own child, but it's not your child you're fighting against, it's the eating disorder.
This may help you respond to your child in a calm and non-critical manner.
Here's what you need to feed your child to support their eating disorder recovery. Food is the medicine for an eating disorder. As a parent, you will need to serve your child food that will help them to gain weight.
Your child will require 3 meals and 3 snacks per day with a balance of fats, carbohydrates, proteins, fun foods, and a lot of calories.
Parents are often surprised by how much food they need to feed their child to reverse malnutrition and restore weight.
Finding the right amount of food to support weight gain usually happens with a little trial and error. Your child may feel physically uncomfortable during the early stages of refeeding. This is a normal part of the process. During starvation, digestion slows down and it must readjust when your child begins to eat again. Some people find that a warm heating pad over the stomach helps after meals. These symptoms will improve as the gut wakes up after several weeks of getting enough nutrition.
It is helpful to provide energy-dense foods to restore weight more quickly, without overwhelming your child with very large quantities.
Energy-dense foods contain a lot of calories in a small serving. These foods will make refeeding more efficient and reduce the amount of food your child must eat. You may not be used to serving your child such large quantities of these types of foods, but they are very important for your child's eating disorder recovery.
Aside from energy-dense foods, no special foods are needed during refeeding. Serve foods that are familiar to your family and your culture. Sometimes vegetarianism and veganism can be the starting point for the development of an eating disorder, or a socially acceptable way to restrict food groups. Diets that cut out entire groups of food are not advised unless they are a long-term part of your family or cultural practice.
Consider if your child had just been diagnosed with diabetes and required multiple injections of insulin per day. Your child may fight getting the injections or cry when you give them. However, you would still find a way to give your child their insulin because it is a life-saving medication.
In an eating disorder, food in the proper amounts is also a life-saving medication. Following these guidelines will help your child to gain the weight they need to be healthy. Conclusion. During the course of your child's recovery, you as parents are going to make a lot of mistakes. You will do things wrong. More importantly, you will get many things right. Young people do recover from eating disorders. Remember, your child did not choose to develop an eating disorder, and you as the parent did not cause the eating disorder. But you are the most important part of your child's recovery.
You are breaking the hold that a deadly illness has over your child.
The sooner you help your child reach and maintain their target weight, the sooner recovery can take place.
So feed your child what they need to gain weight and be healthy, not what you think they will be willing to eat.
Tell your child it is your job as a parent to help them get well, that you understand how hard this is for them, and that you will keep them safe.
Although this can be really, really difficult, remember that you're not alone. As a team, we will work together to fight against your child's eating disorder.
And even though the stage of treatment is the hardest for everyone, the majority of youth with eating disorders will fully recover and go on to live healthy lives.
Remember, as long as you're there for your child and you're consistent and you work together as a team, you can beat this eating disorder.
Your child will not ask you or thank you for the support you're providing them. Your child's eating disorder is not interested in your help. But in the end, when your child is fully recovered, your child may be grateful that you've done your best to save their lives.